mentors to freshman advisories. He's in concert chorale and Route 81. He's heavily involved in the arts since his freshman year. Helping others for Ryan is not just limited to the St. Paul's community. The summer before his junior year, Ryan volunteered for a service learning trip to the eastern shore of Delaware, where he spent much of his time working with The Way Home, an organization that helps recently released convicts re-enter society and improve their lives and futures. He worked with a group painting, cleaning, and repairing a halfway house owned by the program. Ryan found the work meaningful and eye-opening, saying, "When some of the former prisoners spoke to us about what it means to them to have a safe place to live while looking for jobs and permanent homes, it made me happy to know that simply giving my time could make such a difference." I've had him in math class, so I'm quoting myself here. Ryan is refreshingly intellectually curious in math. He got more engaged when we went beyond the basic concepts and would ask questions about the most challenging problems. He would ask about the hardest problems that weren't assigned because he had tried them and wanted to know what, if anything, he was missing. Ryan has shown that it is possible to have it all in high school: a sense of humor, good friends, extracurriculars, and stellar grades. He has become an indispensable part of the St. Paul's community in the classroom, on the stage, and in the choir. His comfort in who he is such that an English presentation that would make any normal high schooler writhe in agony can be presented with confidence. Well, this might be a little more pressure than a presentation in English class, but I'm sure it'll be great. Please welcome today's commencement speaker, Ryan Kern.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the class of 2018, I would like to welcome you to this graduation and commencement ceremony. We're gathered here to recognize and celebrate the legacy, accomplishments, and spirit of the class of 2018. To the faculty, administration, and guests here today, I believe I speak for all of my classmates in saying we greatly appreciate all that you've done to ensure our success and are grateful that you can be with us today as we conclude this chapter in our lives. To the class of 2018, I'm still wondering why you picked me to do this. Your choice to have me deliver this speech is only one of many examples that proves you should never give the class of 2018 the power of democracy. Levels by Avicii, rest in peace, was forever tarnished for me when it was voted to be our morning bell sophomore year. What better way to ruin a song than to forever associate it with going to class? Our poor decision-making skills aside, we made it. Just when the school thought we wouldn't make it to the end of the year, we did. Just when our teachers thought we couldn't push the deadlines any further, we did. And when they said no one can write a 2,000-word essay 2 hours before it's due and still get a B, some of us did. When they said you can't throw a huge party on the front lawn at 8 o'clock in the morning, we did. And when they say you will never be the most memorable class to come through St. Paul's, well, we don't know about that yet, but I've got a good feeling about that one. Like any good graduation speech, I'm going to follow the tried and true formula. Deliver some charming anecdotes, interspersed with witty references to our class zeitgeist, and then conclude with a bittersweet emotional message. And seniors, if you're not sure what I mean by zeitgeist, it's okay. It just means you didn't get past level 2 on Memby. When I was young, I wanted to be Spider-Man. And no, that doesn't mean I fantasized about being Peter Parker. I mean, I seriously considered Spider-Man to be a legitimate career option. I was serious about it too, from my Spider-Man pillow cover to the polyester Spider-Man bodysuit, complete with fake muscles, that I wore every day for 2.5 years. I'm not joking, I literally wore it everywhere. Somewhere in the Kern family archives, there's a picture of me at age 6 standing on the beach wearing a sand-covered Halloween costume. I can still remember how passionate I was about being Spider-Man. I love that costume like Mr. Baird loves Jake's ribs. Despite my mother saying things like, "Wouldn't you like to be a scientist or an astronaut?" And "For the love of God, Ryan, take off the costume, you're graduating next week." For better or worse, we all grow out of our naive childhood fantasies, even if it takes a little encouragement. But why'd you spend all that time telling us about your weird childhood, Ryan? Well, I think the story shows that growing up is a really weird thing. Imagine you're sitting at your table eating your morning cereal when someone walks up, dumps a box of puzzle pieces in your cornflakes, and tells you that you better figure out what the picture is because it's worth 50% of your quarter grade. That's what adolescence is, trying to finish a puzzle when you have no idea what it will look like at the end. So we look for people with more experience. We copy a little, listen to their advice, stand out, fit in, whatever we need to do to find ourselves. We make mistakes and we learn from them, like the time I accidentally called Miss Moses Allen Brenda to her face. I'm sorry about that, Miss Moses Allen. Or as Miss Bean once said in my 9th grade advisor comments, Ryan is also finding a balance between the humorous side of his personality and the discipline necessary to maintain focus in the classroom. If you couldn't tell, that's a nice way of saying I needed to learn to shut up. But that's why St. Paul's is so special. It's the collective endeavor to better ourselves and each other. Seniors, I hope you leave this place and feeling like you have discovered, at least partially, who you are. I encourage you to listen to the wisdom of others, but don't be afraid to question it as well. At the risk of sounding cliche, never forget your dreams, no matter how ridiculous you've been told they are. My mother once chided that being Spider-Man wasn't possible, but seeing as I'm attending the University of Richmond, whose mascot is the Richmond Spiders, I think I proved her wrong a little bit. Sorry, Mom. To my seniors, if in fact you chose me to give this speech because you thought I would make it funny or take some time to roast the roastable among us, I'm sorry it wasn't exactly like that, but I couldn't help but be a bit cheesy. I mean, hey, it's in the formula, so. I wish you all the best of luck in whichever direction you choose to go, because every one of you is so full of talent, tenacity, and potential. And to the parents, teachers, and mentors here, I thank you for all the support and wisdom you have given us over the last 4 years. You helped us see the picture through the pieces, and we wouldn't be here without you. Thank you.